Counter-Strike has a lot of amazing maps. Most of them came in the early days. Dust 2, Inferno, Nuke, and some of the most popular maps, and those often considered to be the best, are over 20 years old. But that does not mean that there haven't been new masterpieces in the CS world. Cache was released in 2011, and Overpass was released in 2014, and what I believe to be the next masterpiece of CS map design was first released in 2019, Anubis. Oh, and also, if you end up liking this video, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and it turns out that a lot of you aren't. I love Anubis. Ever since this map was first added to the game in 2020, I've been enthusiastic about its potential. And now that it's finally back and we can play on it again, I think it's time we consider the brilliance of this map. Don't get me wrong, Anubis isn't perfect. I still think that middle could use some work, as well as some parts of the A-bomb site. But I think these flaws are way overblown by people who have not taken the time to learn the map. The A site becomes a lot more possible to take with some knowledge of basic utility. A smoke for heaven and walkway eliminates two of the best positions for defenders, and if you mix in this pop flash and a molly for plat, the site becomes extremely fun to take ST, yet not so imbalanced that it doesn't make sense to go anywhere else. Middle is the area that I think needs some kind of actual gameplay change. It feels awkward to push and to hold, and for the most part I just see people avoiding the actual mid part and playing from the back. It feels strange because the places that the map is clearly telling you that you're meant to hold from, with cover and places to fall back into, all force you to take a 50-50 and risk being peeked from the opposite angle. I'm not sure if this is on purpose and meant to offer more leverage on the T side, but it doesn't feel natural. The best part of this map to me is absolutely the B-bomb site. I can't put my finger on what it is, but there's something about this site that's just phenomenal to play. Holding the B site from pillar or sewer is one of my favorite CT positions in the game. While this thin choke point may seem like it would make the site tougher to take, the existence of sewer completely changes the way that the site plays, and allows the sewer player to play very dynamically. This is one of the most important positions on the entire map, and if you have someone there who knows what they're doing, your team will benefit. I would love to see one of the more cerebral riflers on this position, like Bleh, Hunter, or Rops. The B site is not impenetrable to the T side either though. Again, with two smokes and a two-pronged attack the remaining sewer, a successful B site execute can be really satisfying. But the important thing is that it's not without counterplay. When these telltale signs of an execute come out, they can be countered with CT utility and molotovs, nades, and smokes of your own. Anubis is not a blanket 3-lane map either. The thing that sets it apart from the rest of the crop is Canal, the watery area that connects sewer, middle, A main, and T spawn. This is really cool because yes, the water creates sound cues, but also it adds an element of verticality to the map and does something that no other map really does, which is adding a connector between the A and B bomb sites without having to go directly through middle. Yes, there is this drop here, but if a CT is holding middle from one of the traditional angles, they will be none the wiser of a rotate. And that is the genius of Anubis. It takes the 3-lane design and innovates upon it in a drastic way that no other 3-lane map really has ever done. The other two somewhat experimental 3-lane maps are Overpass and Inferno, and both of those maps are widely loved by the community, despite being quite old in comparison to some of the maps that they don't like anymore. While yes, the traditional 3-lane maps like Dust 2, Cache, and Mirage are also immensely popular, people are getting tired of these maps, and people are a lot less bored with Overpass and Inferno. Anubis is a map with the potential to become something amazing, and we've all just got to wait and see if that potential is delivered upon by both Valve and the people behind the map. What do you think of Anubis?
Of Anubis?
Yeah.
Am I being recorded right now?
Yeah.
This is a minor thing, but it's the same thing I have with, probably more that you have with Ancient, is that A site should be B site and vice versa, you know? A site is almost like a rotative position. It feels like,
yeah,
and you know that's not necessarily true, but like there's nowhere to push out on A versus like on B you have that whole push into water dynamic. Same with mid in that little window area.
Hello.
Yo, what do you think of Anubis?
Oh, I used to hate it, but it's grown on me. It's alright, I like it.
Good to know.
Hello?
Hello?
What's the problem?
What do you think of Anubis?
What do I think of Anubis? It's an interesting map.
Good to hear. I also asked a couple members of the Counter-Strike community, to which most of them responded, I don't know, which is fair to be honest. However, Hawka came to the rescue and offered some opinions on the map. Hawka also believes that B-site is the best part of the map, sharing my opinion that the sewer is very cool and unique. One thing that I like that he pointed out is how the addition of double doors in mid is somewhat unnecessary, and seems like a random patched together part of the map. I didn't think about this in my overview of the map, but when I heard it I agree that double doors are very strange and are certainly not the best solution to mid. Another very valid criticism that he had is that the entrance to the A site feels somewhat removed from the rest of the map. I can definitely see this as well. It's another thing that I didn't really think of independently, but I can definitely agree with. When I was talking to my friend about it earlier, he mentioned that he just gravitates towards the B side on T side, and I think that this far removed A main is the reason for this. B site just feels more attractive and possible from the terrorist perspective just because the entrance to B is far more fluid. Anubis is a utility-centric map with angles that feel great, has a somewhat experimental design, and is not extremely T or CT-sided. Anubis deserves a shot in the big leagues. I want to see Anubis played professionally very badly. I think that this map would instantly become a viewer favorite. This map played at the highest level would be amazing. And we almost did see it played professionally. I remember, part of the way through 2020, Anubis was rumored to be replacing Mirage in the professional pool. This obviously did not happen due to some strange reason that has been speculated on quite a bit. Rumors aside though, Anubis was considered to be a given as the next map added to the professional pool, but then Valve removed it with Operation Broken Fang, and added Ancient, which eventually took Anubis' birthright and inherited the position of the next professional map. As far as I can tell, there has been one single match of somewhat top-level Counter-Strike on Anubis, NIP vs Big Clan in the Battle of Betway online show match. This best of 5 exhibition match was very close, with the losing team always getting at least 13 rounds. Except for on Anubis, the one blowout of the series where NIP won 16-4. Despite being such a blowout, this match was a lot of fun to watch, and I remember a few of the NIP players speaking out later about how they really liked Anubis. I wonder why they talked about how they loved it and Big Clan didn't. As I've said, I do think that Anubis deserves to be a part of the professional pool. We need something new, and Anubis and Tuscan are really the only dose of new that we might get. The argument has been made that Anubis has flaws, so it isn't ready for professional play, but that's not how this works. For a map to be perfected, it needs to be played at the highest level, and I'd hazard a guess that most of the people who dislike Anubis haven't even taken the time to learn it. When Cobblestone was first added, it was hated. When the new nuke was added, it was hated. The same is true with Overpass, Ancient, and Vertigo. We, as Counter-Strike players, are stubborn as all hell. We love our game, and most of us have loved our game for years, and we love it how it is. I think that a resistance to change is a lot of why our game has succeeded for so long, but I also think that we need to be able to evolve when it is necessary. I think that constant reactive balance patches like what happens in some other esports are not a good thing, and it's right that we don't want something like this. But when it comes to map diversity in the professional scene, I think that we don't lose much from adding a completely new map, never played professionally before, to the pool. While I do miss seeing Cash, Cobble, and Train in the pro pool, we would gain a lot more from being able to tactically explore something completely new, and we need to accept that. Anubis is the best map to be added to Counter-Strike in the last 5 years, and it absolutely deserves a chance in the spotlight. And I, for one, really hope that it gets one. Thank you. I kind of made this video because I've been seeing a lot more people online talking about Tuscan rather than Anubis, and no shade thrown to Tuscan. I love that map, and the cat food remake was amazing. But I think that Anubis deserves just as much, if not more, praise than this current version of Tuscan, because it's something completely new that we've never really seen in CS, and I love that. I think that it's doing some really cool things, and I hope that we get to see it played professionally. But yeah, if you like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a like, and also follow me on Twitter. Do that. I have a lot of fun talking about maps because it's something that I'm super passionate about, so if you enjoy listening to me talk about these maps. I really appreciate that. Even though it's not necessarily the best content all the time, it's, I enjoy it.